What is up guys, Julian Michael here of Social Vignerons. Welcome back to another wine video. This is episode number 14 of the Tasting with Julian series. Today I'm taking you to the wonderful wine country of Italy. I'm taking you just half an hour north of the beautiful city of Venice. I'm taking you to the Veneto to taste some rather unusual and super tasty wines from an organic producer called Corvezzo. I was actually there just a few months ago witnessing the harvest, and it's just such a beautiful country over there. I'll show you a few pictures along the tasting. The wines we're tasting today are quite unusual in the sense that they are organic. We are going to be tasting an organic Pinot Grigio. There are a lot of Pinot Grigios out there, but a lot of them are mass produced and not that many are made with organic grapes. Same with Prosecco wines. There are so many millions of Prosecco bottles sold all around the world, but so few are actually organic Proseccos, and it's a bit of a new trend. It's very successful. Corvezzo is actually a pioneer both in the Pinot Grigio, but especially in the organic Prosecco sphere and market. Those wines are super popular. On top of that, they are also really interesting. There's a couple of very interesting products that I want to share with you. This one is a Prosecco aged with lees in the bottles, so you have to shake it before you drink it and put all the lees back in the bottle. You will see that in a few minutes. And there is also what is part of the future of Prosecco. This is a Prosecco Rose. The new Prosecco Rose appellation is going to be allowed very soon, and we have an example here, even though it's not yet called Prosecco Rose, but it will be a Prosecco Rose very soon. So you will be flooded very soon with a lot of Prosecco Roses, but not that many organic Prosecco Roses. So exciting tasting today. Stay tuned and let's start with the tasting. The Pinot Grigio, organic Pinot Grigio by Corvezzo. This wine is part of a special range called Terre di Marca. Best selection of the best grapes, some of the top best wines come in the Terre di Marca range. Let's see what difference an organic Pinot Grigio can make to the taste. Pinot Grigio can be a little bland, just a little sweet and not have that many flavors, not many interesting aspects. Let's see how Terre di Marca stands against a standard Pinot Grigio. First of all, the color is quite intense, as we expect from Pinot Grigio. It's yellow, but it's got some golden hues. This is because the Grigio skin of the grapes are a little pinkish. Quite an intense yellow color on this Grigio. It's also important to know that organic grapes tend to have thicker skin to resist to the diseases, because they're attacked by disease a bit more, so they have thicker skin, and this results in more flavors in the wines, and that's also why the organic wine is really trending at the moment. So this is a pungently fruity Grigio. There's a lot of pear and pomegranate and lychee tropical characters to the nose. It's fruity, but it's also elegant. It's slightly vegetal, a little bit of fennel, a little spice. All we like and we love from a Grigio. The palate is super round and super soft, zingy acidity. There's a big burst of lemon flavors and grapefruit flavors. There's also a lot of pear, very fresh, very fruity. But what I like about this one is that It does have a fair amount of body, very nice round balance overall, but you have some tiny phenolics, salty phenolics that develop through the palate, through the tasting, and that makes you salivate, and that makes you want to go for another sip, and that also makes you want to pair this with food. Relatively mildly flavored fruits to go with this. Aperitif, entrees, this is great wine to drink just by itself. Powerful, pungent flavors, big explosion of fruit, but it's overall quite delicate as well. So very balanced, very well crafted Pinot Grigio in here. Let's move on to the Prosecco, same range, Terre di Marca. This is an organic wine. You can see it with the little tag here on the back label. So let's see what difference organic Prosecco wine. I've written about Prosecco wines several times. I've worked with Corvezzo for quite a while. I'm convinced, and I love organic Prosecco wines when they're well crafted. They add a little touch, a little something else more interesting to the tasting experience. Let's remind everyone that Prosecco is made using the tank method, so it's fermented in tank as opposed to champagne and other crémants and other traditional method that are fermented in the bottle, with an exception of this Prosecco that we'll see after, that is indeed re-fermented in the bottle, which is really rare. But this one, standard Prosecco, tank method, fermented in the bottle, 100% Glera grapes. The grapes in Prosecco are called Glera. They used to be called Prosecco, but now they're called Glera. 100% Glera, a beautiful, delicate, shiny, vibrant yellow color. Super delicate nose, floral, white flowers, a touch of lime, bit of lemon, orange, a little bit of mint, nice and fine to smell. Is a little sweet. This is an extra dry, as is often the case in Prosecco, so it's not a brut. It does have a few grams of sugar, so not a super dry. There's a bit of sugar, but this is balanced, and this balances out a zingy, zesty acidity, nice body. The main feature in this Prosecco is the intensity of flavors, and then also the complexity of flavors. A lot of citrus, all the range of citrus that you can imagine, but there's the pear, there's apple, white flowers, elderflowers. There's a lot going on in terms of flavors, a few spices. There's quite a lot going on. Touches of phenolics, touches of delicate tannins on the back of the palate. Great balance, super clean, pure fruity expression, nice complexity, quite long. You know, if you're bored with Prosecco, you kind of like the style, you like the fruity, approachable style, but you're a little bored with it, maybe give it a go to this one and let me know what you think, because it does have something special, more concentration, much flavor, super interesting Prosecco wine. I'm a big fan of this, although I don't like Prosecco all that much, generally speaking, but this is very tasty Prosecco. So I was opening the bottle of Terre di Marca Corvezzo Shake It Prosecco, a Prosecco with lees in the bottle. I was opening the bottle, I was shaking the wine, but I forgot to press record on the damn camera. So I don't have the footage of me shaking the bottle, but essentially what I was explaining is that this Prosecco, and you've seen it before, after you've shaked it, the lees come back into the wine, just like some beers that you have to shake and that come with the lees in the bottle. I will always remember the Cooper's beer down in South Australia that are typical of this process. Shake It Prosecco is actually Prosecco Col Fondo, means Prosecco with lees at the bottom. Is actually a very traditional way of making Prosecco, where it re-ferments with the yeasts in the bottle. So it's an old tradition of making Prosecco that it's being brought back to life by Corvezzo. It's super fun to do, it's super fun to watch. I'm so pissed off with myself that I missed to record this, but here we are. We do have the Prosecco. You can see that it is a little bit hazy. The nose is super vibrant, loads of lime, slightly greenness from the citrus, from the lime. It's a little green, but it's also very vibrant. Lemon, pear. This is a super dry Prosecco wine. The one we had before had a bit of sugar, zero sugars here. All the sugars have been re-fermented in the bottle. So re-fermented in the bottle, a bit like a champagne, but this is by no means a champagne. It remains a Prosecco. It conserves, it keeps the freshness of the fruit. That's the whole point of Prosecco, the freshness, the zestiness of these gorgeous Glera grapes grown in Veneto. I can show you some images of those gorgeous Glera grapes right now. Here they are. The gorgeous freshness and the crispiness, the zestiness of the Glera grapes are captured in Prosecco. That's the whole point of it. If you don't understand Prosecco, you have to watch some videos about it. You have to look for great, precise producers of Prosecco. There are some great Prosecco. So Shake It Prosecco is a super dry, super crispy, loads of acidity, zero sugar. This is a wine to be paired with food, but it's nice to enjoy by itself as well. What I really like is that super dry, bone dry, lots of acidity, clearly encapsulated grapes, grape juice, dry grape juice in a bottle, but those yeasts kind of come rounding up the palate and softening the experience a little bit for you. So you get this extremely dry experience, but it's still balanced, it's still interesting, it's still enjoyable to drink. And finally, the Corvezzo Organic Rosé, soon to become Prosecco Rose. This is made with Glera grapes, the Prosecco grapes, with about 10 or 15% Pinot Noir grapes, believe it or not. So obviously the Pinot Noir adds the pink color to the wine, and also perhaps a little touch of different notes. Straight away, as you can see, the color is super elegant. It's a rather pale salmon pink color, so much like a Provence rosé. So Prosecco Rosé is going to combine those two huge trends in the world of wine: the popularity, the success of rosé worldwide, the popularity of Prosecco and sparkling wines. This is going to bring them both together. You are definitely getting not only the white fruit, the citrus characters, but there's a touch of red berry, pomegranate, and also a little the unique touch of Pinot Noir, kind of earthiness of Pinot Noir, like a mushroom touch of Pinot Noir, which is surprising and super interesting to smell here. I was just looking at the back label. This is a Brut. So it is a very dry, sparkling rosé wine. So it's still soft, it's fruity, layers of, again, citrus, but together with red berries. So if Prosecco is a little bit too austere, too citrusy, too lemony for you, this brings a bit of a milder, softer approach. So you get the pinkiness, you get the super appealing look of a Prosecco Rose, but with all the softness of the Pinot Noir and the creaminess of this Prosecco style. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tasting with Julian. I will continue pumping and throwing out wine videos, wine tasting videos for you, exploring the world of wine, so you and I can continue learning more and more, changing the world of wine a little bit if you wish, and many more wine videos coming for you. I will see you soon in the wine world.